Coming up in the morning edition, Bahamas named best travel destination in the Caribbean. The country celebrates a banner year in tourism. And the Shell Saxon superstars are set for the big dance on Bay.
Left to go before we engage in Secret Santa with family and friends. Good morning to all of you. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Morning Edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. And joining us live here on the Morning Edition to tell us how things are shaping up weather-wise for the holidays is Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDawn. The morning getting started with some stratiform clouds, and that will all change later on. We have a frontal system heading this way. We'll tell you all about that later in the newscast. But we go to our satellite picture, and as you can see, lots of shower activity in the eastern Gulf of Mexico associated with that front, all advancing towards the east, already affecting part of the extreme northwest Bahamas, Bimini, Grand Bahama, and the Abacos. But outside of our studios, we have partly cloudy skies. Your temperature 73 degrees, relative humidity 94%, south-southeast winds at 10 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,014.0 millibars. That is 29.94 inches, and it is steady. The temperatures around the islands this morning, 77 in Greentoll Key, also in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Marsh Harbor with some cloudiness there at 74. In the Berry Islands, 76 degrees, 76 also in Alistown, Bimini. Harper Island, 76 as well. In Roxanne, Eleuthera, Otterstown, Cat Island, 77, 76 in Stanley Key, also Camp Space on Andros, Fresh Creek in Central Andros. In San Salvador and Rum Key, 77s, 78 in Clarencetown, Long Island, and Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Meguana at 77, another 77 in Acklands, Ragged Island, 78, Matthewtown in Agua, 76 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 79 degrees. And your boating forecast for today for the northwest and central Bahamas, southerly winds ahead of that front, speeds picking up 15 to 20 knots, so caution flags are in place for your boaters in the northwest and central Bahamas. Wave heights, they're going to be around 4 to 7 feet over the open waters. Low tide, 11:50 this morning. The high tide will take place at 5:38 this afternoon. And for the southeast Bahamas, wind southeast at 12 to 18 knots, wave height 3 to 6 feet. And that's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Meanwhile, traffic reporter Sieska Adderley is standing by with traffic cops to tell us what we can expect on our streets this holiday. Good morning, Sieska.
This morning, we're coming to you live from John F. Kennedy Drive, and joining me is Corporal Miko Evans from the Traffic Division to tell us what we need to know when we're moving about in this area. Good morning, Corporal Evans. How are you?
Good morning, Ms. Adley. Good morning, Bahamas.
So what are some of the issues that you all encounter in terms of managing traffic in this particular area?
In this particular area, managing traffic can pose a problem due to vehicle speed. We have a very common problem in the John F. Kennedy Drive thoroughfare where vehicles are failing to adhere to their speed limit whilst they travel east and westbound along this thoroughfare.
So what is the speed limit, Corporal Evans, and what are you finding are the results of those not adhering to that speed limit?
The speed limit in this area for the smaller vehicles is 45 miles per hour, and for the bigger vehicles is 35 miles per hour. We're having a lot of times speed is a factor of persons losing control of their vehicle, and when they are westbound, they can find themselves into utility poles or the limestone elevation if they're traveling west. If they are eastbound, they can find themselves losing control and possibly plunging into the lake, which can present a different type of problem.
Okay, are you finding accidents to be common in this area as a result? Are you talking speed? You said speed is an issue for you all?
Yes, speed is definitely an issue in this area. Speed is definitely an issue in this area.
So accidents are trendy in this area?
Yes, definitely, and the more serious accidents happen on this area due to the speed that motorists are traveling in this area.
Now, just before you go, Corporal Evans, and we're speaking of accidents, were there anything that motorists should have been aware of that you all had to investigate within the last 24 hours?
Within the last 24 hours, it was relatively quiet. We had one reported traffic accident without injuries, and we had 2 traffic accidents with injuries. that were not life-threatening.
All right, thank you so much. That's Corporal Miko Evans. And as I said, we're coming to you live from John F. Kennedy Drive, where speed is a factor. So in addition to slowing down, police also want to make sure that you are wearing your seatbelts to avoid any accidents, and you being a part of that number. Back to you in the studio, LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Sieska. Now on to our top story this morning. Some good news for the country's #1 industry. The Bahamas has been named the best travel destination for 2018 by Caribbean Journal, the world's largest website covering travel throughout the Caribbean. While Tourism Minister the Honorable Dionisio Diaguilar was named Tourism Minister of the Year during the annual Caribbean Travel Awards. Mr. Diaguilar says the awards come as the Bahamas continues to experience a banner year in tourism.
We've received many awards this year. This is the culmination of a year where we've been winning rewards by a number of leading travel magazines. And even in this one, they went so far as to say that the Minister of Tourism for the Bahamas was named Caribbean Tourism Minister of the Year, which is very humbling. And if I am to receive this honor, I do so for all the employees at the Ministry of Tourism who've really done a fabulous job this year. I'm very proud of them, and the fact that we've achieved the wonderful results that we have.
And even more good news in the tourism industry. Officials say the Bahamas is having a record-breaking year in tourism, with tourism figures continuing to trend upward. Tourism Minister the Honorable Dionisio Diaguilar says stopover arrivals to the country have increased substantially, with that trend reflected in the Family Islands.
Stopover visitors, they're the ones that spend the money. They're the ones that have the significant impact on our economy. And for that number to be up 16% this year is just exceptional. Tourist product has received the boost by the starting of the Bahama project. And what is amazing about these exceptional numbers is this is spread throughout the Bahamas. It's not just Nassau. It's not just Bahama. Abaco is up by double digits. Eleuthera is up by double digits. A number of our Family Islands are doing exceptionally well.
The tourism minister also provided an update on airlift arrivals to this country.
Yes, obviously Latin America. We're looking at Colombia, we're looking at Brazil, we're looking at Argentina and Chile, the more affluent destinations in Latin America. We're looking at the Middle East. We're trying to see if we can get an airline like Qatar Airways or Turkish Airline to come directly to Nassau and therefore open up that market to us, which is unexplored. But we must never forget the fact that 85% of our foreign visitors come from the United States and Canada. So that is where our focus continues to be.
Health Minister Dr. the Honorable Dwayne Sands says officials are continuing to monitor reports of the H1N1 or swine flu. There have been several reported cases, but no increase in those numbers.
There have been no new developments, certainly since the last time we spoke. 6 confirmed laboratory documented cases of H1N1 influenza and 2 deaths.
And coming up after the break, the Shell Saxon superstars are going to tell us what to look for from them on Bay. That and more when the morning edition comes right back. Welcome back to the morning edition. The Shell Saxon superstars are a force to reckon with and will no doubt bring fierce competition on Bay and on Boxing Day and New Year's morning. The 2018 New Year's Day champions were also down and out in the winning column, but are back and say they plan to be explosive. We caught up with members at the Shack to find out how they are preparing for the big dance.
The unique splendor of tricked and sassy costumes and the dungalik of the goatskin drums is just a taste of what the Shell Saxon superstars will bring to Bay on Boxing and New Year's morning. For years, the rivals to the Valley Boys have set the standards and have become a crowd favorite. While taking a peek in their shack, the superstars were quite secretive in what our cameras videotaped in the hopes of keeping spectators in suspense for the big dance. Public Relations Officer Kendany Campbell-Moss says the superstars are ready to dig up Bay.
the actual parade begins at 10 p.m. So with that beginning at 10 p.m., we have to be in place. We're coming out second, which is just like coming out first, because there's no guarantee that the group ahead of us is definitely going to be in place for 10 o'clock when the bell rings. So the Saxons would have to be in place at least by 4 p.m. That means drums, that means heating of the drums, that means costuming, that means setting up, that means collaboration, that means everyone needs to be in place. The girls should have on their face paint. They should be ready and prepared to come out of the gate storming.
Known as a formidable force, the Superstars will burst out of the block second on Boxing Day morning and bring up the rear and close out the parade on New Year's morning. The defending New Year's Day champions say they will feed off the energy of the crowd and give them everything they have bargained for.
Our theme for our Boxing Day parade, of course, is music. Feel the rhythm. And we're looking at all genres of music. Our girls, of course, will be depicting a particular female that's fantastic in our world of musicians. We have kumpa, we have Cuban music, we have rake and scrape, which of course is our traditional music. So there's going to be a huge genre of music that's covered throughout the theme of being in music on Bay Street. In terms of our New Year celebration, we're looking at celebrations, just that, celebrations, festivities. Everything is going to be colorful, festive. It's about celebrating life, celebrating our culture.
Campbell Moss says there are only two groups that sell Junkanoo tickets on Bay Street, and that's the Paradise Games Valley Boys and the Shell Saxon Superstars. She says spectators will not leave their seats until they hear the pulsating sounds of the veteran groups.
When they hear that music, when they hear a drum turnover, like, listen, that's the Saxons. And each group has its own particular rhythm and rhyme. When you hear the Saxons, you know, you get their head nodding and you feel it. It's an intrinsic feeling that you know that's the Saxons coming. The Valley Boys have their own. Roots has theirs, but when you know that that's the Saxons, I guarantee you this. New Year's parade, we close out the parade. Bay Street will be full.
Every year we can look forward to a new song from the Sting Junkanoo Group, and this year is no different. The group has released its latest single that will have the crowds walking on Bay Street on Boxing Day and New Year's morning for the Junkanoo parades. Cleopatra Murphy was at the launch and has this preview.
Catch yourself, control yourself, where's your dignity? Show some civility, but I say, catch yourself, you must smell yourself.
Monday night was party time at the farm for the Sting Junkanoo Group that celebrated the release of its new song, Catch Yourself. Lassie Doe and the boys provided down-home entertainment, much to the delight of attendees who took to the floor, pulling out their best moves. Marketing manager for Sting, Gary Super Johnson, says the Sting Junkanoo Group that is celebrating its 18th year is grateful for the public support of the release. The new song the group will take to Bay Street was written by Sammy Hasty. Johnson and producer D-Mac, who lent his voice to the track, explained the concept.
It's talking about the times and the things that are going on in the country right now, even around the world. And we just want you to slow down, take it easy. Before you do anything wrong, just catch yourself, man.
It's non-political, it's nothing to do with any type of politics, but we just look on the road and we see things that are happening, and so we want to address those situations, but we put it in a nice light where people can kind of enjoy themselves and have fun with it.
D-Mac debuted the song before an engaged audience. Catch Yourself is the fifth song D-Mac has worked with Sting on, and he says he is excited about the partnership and what the collaboration means for Junkanoo.
So could you imagine every Junkanoo group having a song every year? Could you imagine how big that would be? Sting is the trendsetter, for what should be happening when you're talking about marrying the Junkanoo and when you're talking about marrying the entertainment, the artists together. This is a prime example of what it should be. So we get to Bay Street, they get on Bay Street, they perform their song.
As for when the group hits Bay Street, Johnson says expect the usual excitement from Sting.
This year, we're introducing Sting Alley, where we're going to be set up from 10 o'clock. We're going straight through the 8 o'clock. We also will be getting, we're in the process of enlisting some tourists. Some of the tourists will come for Christmas, for the holidays, who want to be a part of, want to get the festive season, want to feel that Junkanoo spirit. We're soliciting those folks to come and rush with us, so you can see a different layout, a different feel for this year.
Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Thanks a lot, Cleo. Wine, spirits, and apple cider are the norm when it comes to festive drinks during Bahamian Christmas holidays. Add an extra native kick while you wait on Old St. Nick with Angie's Delightful Teas. Now joining us live here on the Morning Edition to tell us more about Delightful Teas is Angela Stewart. Angela, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Welcome, thank you. Good morning, tea lovers.
Talk to me a little bit about what actually puts the delightful in your teas.
What puts the delightful in my teas is that I grow them myself. They're all natural. They're authentically Bahamian, and we normally do them the fever grass and ginger, the lemon and ginger, the passion fruit and ginger, all natural stuff.
And are they, I guess, are they the only flavors that you have, or you
Well,
have more
we have
flavors?
more flavors. We have the mango leaf, we have the pear leaf, we have the moringa and ginger, and the soursop.
So what are the most popular flavors?
The most popular flavors are the passion fruit and ginger, the fever grass and ginger, and the lemon and ginger.
And how do you make your teas? Tell me a little bit about it.
We boil the teas, the leaves, and we add the ginger and the sweeteners to them. And for your sample today, we will have the passion fruit and ginger.
Okay, so can I have a sample?
You
of
could have a
that?
sample of it. Yes, sure.
How long does it take for you to actually, I guess, make the different
A day, because I give it time to steep, so you get the full flavor of it.
So what have been customers, I guess, been saying to you about, I guess, the teas that they've been
The natural effects. What really started all of this, I had acid reflux. I was diagnosed with acid reflux. And I found that the fever grass, which is this here, many Bahamians probably know fever grass, and I got relief from the fever grass and ginger. I'm no longer on Nexium.
Okay. This is good. This is very good.
And so,
and talk to me a little bit more about business. How are things going?
There is a great demand in Bahamas for natural stuff, herbal stuff. And I started about a year ago, and I saw that demand was like, I need some of this. And so that's what it's been going really, really great. Bahamians are getting back to the natural, healthy stuff. And one of the things that we could look at, our grandparents, they never went to the hospital. Why? Because they understood that the leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nation, and they ate from the ground. So this is where Angie's Delightful Teas basically was birthed because of my ailment and the health benefits and properties that the teas and the leaves bring.
So how can persons, I guess, get into contact with you for the holidays?
Well, you could contact me at 426-3003 or hit me up on Facebook as Angie with a J, Angie's Delightful Teas, or on Instagram, Angie's Delightful Teas.
Angie, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and best of luck to you and your
Yes, all the best. Merry Christmas, tea lovers.
So, Johnny, what's coming up in sports?
Well, Dawn, we have the latest from that controversy surrounding the Giorgio Baldacci Nationals.
You want to sample some tea?
Yeah,
I guess you can do it
of course,
afterwards.
you're not having your fix, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That story and more ahead in sports.
Welcome to sports, everybody. More twists and turns at the Giorgio Baldacci Tennis Nationals after players staged a boycott yesterday morning in reference to the seedings for the main draw. President of the Bahamas Lawn Tennis Association, Darnett Ware, refused to budge, and so no action took place yesterday, with players defaulting matches one by one. It was speculated at that time the Nationals were over and done with, but another emergency meeting was held last night. The president is said to have had the same attitude, causing several players to walk out, but an email was sent out shortly after midnight with new draws. Whether or not players will take part is still to be seen, with play expected to resume at 9 this morning. From the NBA, a career-high 37 points last night for Buddy Hield. For Buddy, it was a bittersweet moment as the Sacramento Kings fell 132-113 to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I sure won't be the last one in my career high. I'll get more opportunities, and the best still yet to come, man. You know, you just got to keep grinding and plucking away and keep getting better.
DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns also on court last night. After taking 28 games to post 4 wins, the Suns have now won 4 in a row. They took down the Boston Celtics last night 111-103. DeAndre had 28 points and 13 rebounds. Rattlers senior boys basketball team opening up play yesterday at the Tarkanian Classic in Las Vegas. And they were playing out of the East Bay Championship bracket. The Rattlers fell 79-43 to Fairmont High out of California. C.I. Gibson now moving into the losers bracket, where they have a bye in the next round. The New Providence Basketball Association back on court last night at the AF Valley Gym. In the Division I feature, the University of the Bahamas Mingos suffering their first loss of the season, going down to the discount distributor Rockets 88-80. Livingston Munnings leading the Rockets 27 points and 20 rebounds. Kamsi Sylvester also double-double for UB. He finished up with 24 points and 10 boards. In the Division II opener, the Sunwell Rockets coming out on the losing end last night against Leno's Eagles Nest. Tyrell Butler, a side-high 25 points in the win. Cameron Cherry, he posted 30 points and 11 rebounds in the loss. The Toledo Rockets and FIU Panthers getting together yesterday to put on an hour-and-a-half youth football clinic for youngsters ages 7 to 13. It was run by a USA football coach along with student athletes and staff from both teams and representatives from the Commonwealth American Football League. The teams will have a walkthrough this morning at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. That will be followed by one final press conference ahead of game day for the Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl, set for a 12:30 kickoff tomorrow. And we are now joined live in the studio by Kira Horton from the Bahamas Professional Golfers Tour. And I understand this is a big weekend ahead for you guys.
This is the big weekend. This is the grand finale. This is a championship tournament from the series of Professional Golf Classics this year, 2018. So the inaugural year for the BPGT, Bahamas Professional Golf Tour. And we're closing it out with a big bang on Sunday, December 23rd. So this Sunday at Royal Blue Bahama Golf Course. We'll be there from 10:30. Tee off is at 10:30 a.m. And we're looking for a fabulous day.
So I guess it's going to go right down to the wire, right?
Right down to the wire, and it's really heating up because we have quite a number of players that are in it to win it. So at the top three, we have Greg Maycock leading the pack, who hails from Freeport, Grand Bahama. And he definitely put on a great performance this 2018 series. So we're looking for, the races between him, our CEO and founder of the BPGT, Ricardo Davis, and swing doctor, Jim Duncombe. So it's only a few hundred points, a couple hundred points. We got Greg Maycock leading the pack with 2,300 points on the leaderboard. And we have both Jim and Ricardo tied at 1,700. So it's a close race. And then the amateurs, it's close as well. We have Richard Gibson, who is leading the pack for the amateurs with 1,200 points. Then we have right behind him, Peter McIntosh, who has 1,100. So that's really, really close. And close on his heels, we have Ryan Major, and he has 900 points. So it's really heating up, a lot of activity, and the greens are going to be hot on Sunday.
And I guess you guys are happy with how things have gone this year, right?
Yes, we're very pleased with the momentum and what we've built and developed over the last several months. We began in May of this year, and we were able to also, we have Royal Blue as a tour partner, but we were also able to visit and play on on the Ocean Club course this year. So next year, we're hoping to tour the family of islands and get onto some courses there as well.
Well, there you have it. The Bahamas Professional Golf Tour ends this Sunday. It's going to be exciting, a very good 2018, and they're looking forward to 2019. Kira, thank you for joining us here this morning.
Thank you for
having me. And good luck on Sunday.
And I hope to see you on the greens. You're going to meet me there or beat me there?
I'll try one of them.
Well, I want to thank our sponsors, too, if I can. Just a thank you to all of the tour partners and sponsors this year. And I don't want to limit anybody, but Bahamas Base, R&E Imports, Bentonite Beauty, Clay Sunty, and Under Armour brand, Paradise Island Resorts, Hopetown, Lodge and Marina, so many, Pensala, DJ, so many people that I don't want to list. So if I did miss your name, please forgive me, but thank you to all of our special sponsors and our tour partners this year.
Well, thank you, and that does it for Sports in the Morning edition. Stay tuned, a final check on weather is still to come.
And now a final look at weather. We're taking to our satellite discussion, and that high pressure is continuing to move towards the east, and that's giving way to this very strong frontal system in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, which is heading our way, already beginning to spread some showers and thunderstorms over the extreme northwest Bahamas around Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini, and we will get a little bit of that later on today as well. But behind that, some gale force winds will be accompanying that frontal system on Friday morning early, so we'll see winds up to about 15 to 30 knots. They're gusting up to about 40 knots at times. So small craft, we're asking you to just simply stay in port until Friday. Today, we're going in for partly cloudy conditions, a bit warm and breezy with showers developing during the late morning and early afternoon hours. Your high temperature around 80 degrees. And tonight, mostly cloudy, breezy with showers again developing in the morning, and those winds will begin to pick up as well late tonight heading into Friday morning. Low temperature down to 64 degrees. The extended weather forecast, wet weather right into Friday. Some of those showers could become heavy at times, spawning one or two thunderstorms, and even we can probably get some isolated tornadoes or water spouts over the open waters on Friday morning. And then on Saturday, things start to clear up a bit, but the breeziness will continue into Saturday, starting to die off a bit on Sunday with beautiful weather heading into the early part of next week. LaDawn?
Thanks a lot, Basil, and that does it for the morning edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Please join us again at 6 p.m. this evening for our 2-hour newscast. Once again, I'm LaDawn Davis. Happy holidays, everyone.